US has charged him under the Espionage Act and applied for his extradition. Initially, the extradition request was refused, and then on appeal it was granted, and then there's been a second case taken, and that is going to be heard on the 20th and 21st of February here at the Royal Courts of Justice. So anyone who's watching this, if you can come along outside the Royal Courts of Justice on those 2 days, come in the morning between 8 and 9, so we get a good number of people here when the proceedings begin at 10 o'clock. Obviously the number of people that can go into the court will be very reduced because it's just not a very big place, but it's important to show that we are standing with Julian in his attempt to tell the truth about what's going on in the world. Are we to become simply a country that bombs others, or are we going to become one that actually supports a peace process? That means justice. I was in The Hague this week to witness the South African application for Israel to be arraigned under the Genocide Convention, and they put in excruciating detail in 3.5 hours, I was there throughout, the case of Israel's genocidal acts in treating the Palestinian people as a whole and trying to remove them from the Gaza Strip.
Well, there were some comments made earlier, and I've looked through some of the indictments presented by the South African lawyers, and it's very much appears that they're condemned by their own words in terms of the cabinet members and the Prime Minister of Israel, in terms of words they've actually said where they're condoning the genocide.
One comment by one minister isn't necessarily proof positive, but repeated comments by the same minister about reducing the population of Gaza by 90%, repeated comments by very senior figures in Israeli politics, Netanyahu included, which say there are no innocent people in Gaza, there are only enemies that we have to deal with, condemning 2 million people to bombardment, 30,000 already dead, and I dread to think of the number of bodies that will be found under the rubble. 75% of all housing has been destroyed. Every school has been hit, most of them completely destroyed.
Kangaroo court, where there will be a sham of British justice, where the main witness against Julian, named Corbyn, lied. Google Corbyn lied. Judge for yourself. Please come. Tuesday, 20th of February, to this kangaroo court over there. For a 2-day trial. It will be a sham. Thursday, 20th of February, 2-day. Justice. Julian's trial will affect us all. It will affect the free press and our right to know all the awful things that are happening in the world. So please come. Tuesday, 20th of February.
Here we are.
This
Here we are.
court, this
Here we
kangaroo
are.
court.
Here we are.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
If you can make way, please. Thank you. If you can make way for us. Thank you, sir.
Poignant. It's a school, Beach Primary School in Jabilia refugee camp. I visited that school on several occasions when I've been in Gaza. It's right. And it was a happy school where the children, primary school, where the children felt safe, creative. They showed me their paintings. They read me their poems. These were 10-year-old children. Heartbreaking. On a human level, stand by the Palestinian people and thank you to those very, very brave people in Israel who also signed the application to the International Court of Justice in support of the South African claim of genocide. Thank you to them, and thank you to those that have been brave enough to try and demonstrate against the continued occupation of Palestine.
Well, thank you to Jeremy Corbyn MP, one of the few sane and rational voices for peace here in the UK, and one of the few voices who've actually spoken up in support of those who are being the victims of not only American, British, NATO and other allies, but the good people here today as well who are protesting what's happening in Gaza and indeed what's happening to Julian Assange.
Tens of thousands of us. Next week I'll be in Birmingham. We're doing rallies all over the country. We will not stop until Palestine is free and at peace.
Thank you, sir.